There is a list in general terms. Specific explanations are not needed at this point. The last 18 are strictly human, for the point, neg, I ceased to develop animal, and in passing through the highest forms of animal existence, I was expelled into one step further, and lo! The first course of transmigrations were ended. I awoke to a consciousness of self, and man, the immortal, stood revealed. Thus I supplied the lost links, O philosophers, which connect you with the worlds above, around, and below the plane on which you move. Note, the exact order is not stated, for there are many intermediate links connecting the semi with the lemurs and the troglodytes, or with that portion of the genus of Quadrama, comprising the gorilla, higher orangs, nishiagos, and chimpanzees, yet the chain itself is, generally speaking, quite correct. Thus is completed the outlines of the history and experience of the human soul. Let us return to the awakening. I now realize that the soul and spirit worlds were far different from each other, for the former is within, but the latter, like the planetary worlds, is without. Not in the sense of in the house and out of the house, but rather in the sense of in the bed and in a dream. Not exactly, but analogous. The fact is, mankind, albeit all know it not, are living upon the confines, at least, if not occasionally full residents, of 2 or 3 worlds at the same time. Worlds which impinge upon and interlace each other, just as fine spirit contacts rough matter. And yet, while this fact is so, it happens likewise that in many respects these worlds are as wide apart in this distance from each other as the Pleiades of Mazzaroth, or the distance from sun to a twinkling planet, for the reasons that states, not miles, separate the Dinsians of either. Those who belong in accord with this vast harmon-head move alike upon the shores of each sphere of being, which they can catch the echoes of footfalls of the pilgrims of both banks. Both people are familiar with the stereotyped assertion that man is a microcosm, a universe in miniature, then with nothing more can be correct and true. The body is not the man, neither is the nerve center of his brain in which constitutes his personality, any more than the central spiritual sun around which material systems revolve is the supreme God himself. For even as deity dwells within a centralia of the august luminary, so also does the very man himself hold his court within the bosom of that magic sphere which exists within his skull. In the subjoined description of the student, the sentient and conscious point is spoken of under the similitude and figure of a fiery globe. The likeness is imperfect in some respects, for not only is man a world within himself, but he is an entire system of worlds, each one of which is in perfect order, full and complete. God is at once a center, a republic, and a king. So also is man in infinite degree. His faculties may be said to constitute the distinct members or states or nations of the great confederation, whereof the supreme ego is sovereign lord and president, one, however, who can, if so elect, assume and wield despotic power over all within the great domain. So far can this power be carried and exerted that pain may be overcome, and even death itself be kept at bay. The will is lord of man's accidents and incidents, and if his reason guide it well, nothing can withstand its force. As stated previously, all foregone thoughts and deeds of mine became objectified in my new sphere, for which I can find no descriptive term so good as that of memorama, for such it truly was, and the fact of its existence at all ought to become a significant one to mortals. For even as their deeds and thoughts shall be on earth, even so will be the delights or agonies consequent upon the inspection of these memory tables on the other shore, whither all must go, whether the voyage be agreeable or not. Memory constitutes the basis of man's heaven or his hell. On it is found the superstructure of his sorrows or his joys, and woe be to whomsoever shall read, and reading neglect the caution here imparted. I give it in all love, for I know its immense importance. My thoughts and actions, even the minutest, pass before me across the polished surface of the enclosing sphere, standing out in bold relief. The pictures incessantly altered their aspect, or gave place to new ones, But there was something which did not change, but on the contrary seemed to gather weight and durability all the while. This was the attention point, the focalization of all the soul's observant powers, nor did it undergo any permutation whatsoever. I stood, as previously intimated, in the center of the crystalline sphere. It was translucent, but not transparent. Nothing beyond its glory-tinted walls was discernible, but all within it stood revealed in grand and cryptic light, which, as already observed, appeared to proceed from my own head. The vertical diameter of the sphere was not more than 50 yards. Its horizontal one was more, for its form was slightly ellipsoidal. Its floor was as polished mirror, reflecting not only my own image, but those of all things within its beautiful walls. In this mirror-like surface I beheld my person and features most distinctly, and it was quite a matter of surprise to discover that I was, without the slightest effort on my part, completely and beautifully clothed in garments of the fashion and style of which, of all others, I should have selected, had opportunity for so doing been present. Here is the new mystery of the soul world which may well engage the attention of the psychologians. Depending from my neck and shoulders was a long and flowing robe, apparently seamless, and woven of the lightest gossamer. The forearms and left shoulder joint were bare, and I noticed that they, well as my hands, had lost the sickly cast and shrunken, shriveled appearance formerly characterizing them. Now, to my great delight, they were fair, plump, and of the most dazzling and voluptuous mold and proportions. As I had made this happy discovery, there flashed across me something of deeper meaning slumbering beneath the phrases love, loving, and lovely, and I could comprehend why one person should become so en rapport, so obsessed with, possessed, and absorbed by another, as to lose not only all self-control, but all self altogether.